Time for your update from the City of Brooklyn Park. The Mayor with us, Hollies Winston. Welcome once again, Mayor.
Thank you.
Number of topics to touch on now. The first is election. It is the season, believe it or not. Voting is open right now. Tell us more about elections in Brooklyn Park this year.
Yeah, incredibly important. You know, our local elections, everything from police to fire to parks, you know, we're responsible for that. In the East and West District, there are no primaries, but in the Central District, I would encourage people to get out and vote for their candidate of choice, because I think these local elections are just as important as what we see at the federal level and at the state level as well. And we really want good partners and people who are engaged and passionate about the city. We really want them in the city council.
A lot of information at mnvotes.gov if you want to find out where to vote or, again, the candidates on the ballot. Let's talk about the blue line. Some discussions, some information coming up here, and some decisions for the cities. What's going to be happening in the coming months?
I think well, I know the municipal consent piece is coming up, and there are some things that our city is kind of having discussions around. We want to make sure that they happen. I know there's a space that they want to use for storage at the end of the line, which is one of our spots, and we want to make sure that's used as efficiently and respects kind of the landscape of how our city works. And then of course there's always just making sure that it is safe, right? So when people take that line, we want Metro Transit and our police department to be working even before day one to ensure that there's going to be a certain level of safety. I think it's very important for our city to get this light rail because it brings hundreds of millions of dollars of value, but it also gives a justification for connecting our city from east to west in terms of public transportation, because a lot of people are struggling with that right now. So it solves for a lot of problems, but as we solve for that, we want to make sure that that it's as safe as possible.
All right, watch for more on that topic. Recently, the council has talked about cannabis a few times in the city and some of those regulations around it. What was the conversation?
So I'm happy with the decisions that the council has been making. I think it's about just making us safer in our parks and in those public spaces. So we don't really want like an open air environment where people feel comfortable just going out there and selling it. We want to make sure that there's some regulations around that so that families feel safe, kids feel safe out there, and it's not rampant everywhere that we go. So I'm comfortable with that. I also think it's part of a larger public safety strategy that the city has in terms of violence interrupters, getting ahead of crime, making sure that the city just feels safe and it feels like there's a presence in terms of law enforcement and people who care about the community. So I'm happy with the direction we're going overall.
All right, more information about that on the city's website, brooklynpark.org. Also more information there about National Night Out. That's coming up August 6th, a big kickoff event in the city on August 2nd. Mayor will be around, I'm sure, at those events. So go to the city's website to find out more. Mayor, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Talk to you again
Appreciate
soon.
it.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.